everyone, it's the Cheap Guy, here to save you money, get you out of debt, and help you take off and get what you need. So I would appreciate if you subscribe, like, and sharing is caring is the main theme of this channel because sharing helps you save money. Let's dive in. Have you ever moved or looked at your bills or signed up for something that's essential to all of our lives these days? I'm talking about Wi-Fi internet at home. Yes, internet service providers, or ISPs, seem to be charging us an arm and a leg just to check our email, watch our YouTube videos, and get the stuff we need done. Everything is online nowadays, and we need to pay to play, right? Well, I'm going to give you 3 different ways. These are not comprehensive, but I'm going to give you just three today, ways to get your internet bill under $20. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about is the cheapest way, and it's actually the least speedy way. So those tend to be a spectrum we're going to go on, right? So we're going to have cheapest, least speedy, most speedy, and most expensive. But once again, all under 20. Now, this first one is using your cell service to tether and have internet service at home. Most cell service providers are offering unlimited data, as well as unlimited calls and texts and all that stuff. So what you do is you tether your phone. Basically what you're doing is you're creating a hotspot. So you go in your settings, and your Wi-Fi setting, your data settings, you create a hotspot. You're going to give it a name, okay? And then on your computer, when you turn on the Wi-Fi and you look for different Wi-Fi routers out there, you're going to see your phone and the name you gave it as one of the options. You connect that way, and now you're surfing on your computer using the data from your cell phone. This ends up working pretty well, and you'd be able to not add an extra bill or cut out the entire internet service provider bill. Many are paying $50, even $80 a month, so this would be an immediate savings because you're already paying for your cell phone. However, the downside with this one is once you start getting throttled, and what that means is when you hit that threshold, and once you pass, say 2 gigabytes or 5 gigabytes, whatever it is, they will throttle your speed. They will lower your speed of transfer. Once this happens, if you just want to check email, it's no problem. If you want to just surf the web and open websites, this is also doable. However, it will load a little slower. If you want to stream Netflix or YouTube videos, this is where we'll have problems. So depending on what you do, this could be a great option, especially if you're not home most of the day. Okay, so if you go to work and you have a Wi-Fi network at work on your phone, and then you come home and you're not really using internet that much at home, the entirety of your 5 gigabytes, say, would be enough to get you through most of your using. If you're downloading movies, however, you run through that and start getting throttled pretty quickly. Also, if you're a big-time gamer or someone who's online all the time, this is probably not an option that will work for you. Now, as we move up the ladder and we go to the middle one, which is a little more expensive than basically nothing, but it's a little quicker than using your cell phone as a hotspot. This is what I'm using right now. I'm using a service called Spectrum Access. And what this is it's internet, everything included, for $14.99 a month. So what I'm doing is I'm paying $14.99 a month with a roommate, so I'm actually paying $7.50, okay? $7.50 for internet. They provided the modem. I just had to buy a router. I got a router on Amazon for under $30, like $29. I'll put it in the links below because it works great and it's really a good price. So I paid $30 and then $15 a month forever. There's no contract. I can get out anytime. Now this may not be available in your area or to you specifically, but you can look up other programs that the different internet service providers may have in your area, or you can even inquire about Spectrum Access. Now here's the thing. Remember, we're in the middle. We're not at the highest speed and we're not at the lowest speed. Most internet service providers' base package is going to give you a speed, because this is how they measure internet and how much speed you're getting. It's going to be 100 megabits per second. And you'll see that in an acronym, Mbps, okay? And so that's your speed. The higher the number, the faster your internet, the more you can handle. Okay, 100 megabits per second is really more than most people need. The Spectrum Access gives us 30 megabits per second. 30 megabits per second allows me to upload YouTube videos, watch YouTube videos, watch streaming videos, do anything I need to do online. I haven't noticed any major difference in speed because, in my opinion, 30 megabits per second is good enough for almost everybody out there. There are a few of you out there that may need more speed because you're hardcore gamers or something of that nature. However, 30 megabits per second has been completely enough for me. Maybe you don't have Spectrum, maybe you don't qualify for Spectrum Access, but call around to the different internet service providers in your area and see if they offer a 30 megabit per second package, or anything less than 100 for that matter, because their advertised start point would be 100, but they may have an unadvertised slower speed option for those who are looking to spend less money. Now we're on the highest tier, the fastest and most expensive. Okay, this is where we need to involve other people. Let's say I live alone, or my roommate and I, or whatever, cannot find this Spectrum Access service or any other service. In fact, let's say the cheapest thing we can find in our area is $40 a month, which you can find $40 a month with AT&T, Spectrum Basic 100 megabits per service. Their service is going to be 45. So you can find this 40, 45. You can definitely find 50. And if you're willing to go up to 60, you'll find anything at blazing fast speeds. If I'm paying 40 and I live alone, I'm double that $20 mark. And I've got way more internet than I'm ever going to need. So here's what you do. You go to your neighbor on either side of you, okay? You knock on their door, or hopefully you made a relationship with them. But what you do is you find someone behind you or next to you or on either side of you, and you see if they're willing to go into internet with you. What you do then is you get one 100 megabit per second account for $40, okay? And you get one modem, and then you get a router and you get router extenders, okay? So you put a few of these Wi-Fi extenders that you can find. In the comments below, I'll link those as well so you know what I'm talking about. But what you do is you take this router and you put these other extra extenders, these router extenders, into the different areas. And what that would do would be providing enough internet coverage for both apartments, or all three apartments if you got people on either side, enough to use the Wi-Fi. You want to put the router closest to the wall that you're sharing, or that's close to the sharer that you're working with. Obviously, this gets a little tricky because one person's paying the bill and then the other people are paying that person. It will provide the most speed, but it is the most complicated. So, if you find people to share, and once again, sharing is caring, you'll find that one of the key principles of cutting your expenses is by involving more people. And so being the cheap guy makes you a social guy, and it helps you build relationships, because what you're doing is using those relationships to get your costs down and helping those relationships get their costs down at the same time. It's a total win-win. But there is a trust element involved. Other elements of this last one that are very, very unideal would be if, for example, you were the sharer and not the sharee, okay, which means if you had internet set up in your house, well, that's fine because you have the strength of signal, and that's not an issue. And if the internet needs to be reset, it's in your house, so you can reset the modem, right? However, the downside is, as the sharer, you have to Venmo or collect money from the sharee or sharees, and if they're not good about paying, that can get a little sticky. Conversely, if you're the sharee, not the sharer, the downsides would be that you would have to get an extender, and it may not work quite as well, but it should work pretty good, to be honest. And the biggest problem I see is if the internet modem or router needs to be reset, it's not in your house. So you cannot just go ahead and make it happen. You have to rely on someone else. And I don't like relying on other people for such things, but nonetheless, it would decrease your monthly amount. And the amount of times you need to reset a modem or a router are fairly minimal if things are set up correctly. So once again, the spectrum of ways to get your internet costs under $20 a month. 1, you don't pay anything and you just use your phone as a hotspot for your computer. 2, you get Spectrum Access or another program that has below 100 megabits per second. They're usually about 30 megabits per second. And you see if you qualify or if you can sign up for it, and you would pay $15 a month. Last, you would get a full speed internet service, and you would get extenders for your routers, and you would share with your neighbors one account, and then one person would pay, and then you would Venmo those people. So if you get a $40 internet service and it's split between 2 apartments, each apartment would be paying $20. So those are 3 different ways to get your internet costs below $20 and start saving money. Thanks for watching, and once again, if you've gotten this far, please subscribe for more tips and tricks and theories on how to save money. And once again, sharing is caring, so share this video with all your friends.